decide where Super Bowls are, but I say after this, no more Super Bowls up north. That's got to go. That should be on the next shit's got to go.
Everybody's complaining about the cold.
Dude, it was like
I don't know why.
it was like 4 degrees there today. They've got to make a change to that.
Well, at least they play inside. I mean, who cares? You get to go to the freaking Super Bowl.
Okay,
It doesn't
the
matter.
the deal is though with that, like there's so much leading up to it the week before. Like people want to do stuff. There's things going on. You can't just have this huge week long event and have it be in 4 degree weather. I say after this, shit's got to go. Move that thing down to Miami, New Orleans, San Diego, somewhere every single year. No more Minnesota.
It's because you're pussy.
Let's get loaded. Welcome to the Loaded Box Podcast.
Where we never finish first because we finish last.
Thank you once again for tuning in to the Loaded Box Podcast. I am Ben Morgan. That is DJ Primo. And we are doing our Super Bowl preview with Vincent Taylor, the defensive tackle of the Miami Dolphins. And Vincent, I just want to say thanks for joining us. And I have to ask you right away, I know you didn't play Week 17, but has everything calmed down in Miami since that Week 17 ending? I mean, we had helmets tossed, we had ejections. For a game where playoffs were not a thing, that was pretty damn entertaining.
Yeah, it was entertaining. I think we talked about that we
Oh,
pushed the wall down a bit.
I think I lost you there. Can you hear me, Vincent? Hey, Vincent, we're going to try to give you a call back, all right?
Alright.
All right, thanks. All right, sorry about those technical difficulties. Vincent, we got you back on the line. Let's just jump right away into some Super Bowl talk. It's got the Eagles, who none of us really thought were going to be there after Carson Wentz went down, and the Patriots, who pretty much making it a yearly tradition to be there. And one of the things we always hear now when someone plays New England in an important game, it's basically the fact that the opposing team needs to apply pressure to Brady up the middle rather than around the edge. I'm just wondering, you as a defensive tackle, do you echo that, or what are your thoughts on the best way to get to Brady and disrupt that timing?
First of all, I just want to say congratulations on both teams, making it to the playoffs. And like you just mentioned, when you're playing a guy like Tom Brady, I got a chance to play against him 2 times, him being in our division. He's a great quarterback, but like you mentioned, pressure. I think that's the key to that game. It starts up front with the D lineman and the offensive lineman. I think you got to get as much pressure as you can on Tom Brady up the middle. Try to get him off his rhythm, don't let him step up into the pocket. And once you take him off his game, then I think the Eagles should be just fine.
Right, that's a dominant front. They have struggled a little bit against the pass, it seems like, this year, but that front seven, man, if they can just tee off on Brady, I think they'd they have a decent chance here. DJ, I know you have a very intriguing question you want to ask Vincent right away.
Yeah, I know you've only played the Patriots twice since it's your rookie year, but just curious, is there anybody who sticks out? Who do you hate the most on the Patriots so far?
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Oh, he was asking, since it's such a big rivalry, is there who sticks out the most on the Patriots? Who do you have that most hatred for?
A guy that sticks out, of course, it starts with Tom Brady. He's the engine to that offense. He's, like I said, one of the best quarterbacks. And then, second, I would say Gronk. Gronk is a big guy. A lot of teams have a hard time covering him. So I think you got to kind of jam him out the line, get 2 bodies on him, and try to get him off his rhythm as well.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of that game, the game you guys played against New England on Monday night, that was probably the most the Patriots struggled with a team in the second half of the season. What did you guys do specifically in that game? You guys played them. I think it was like you guys played them and lost, and then you had another week, and then you played them and you handled them pretty well. They struggled pretty bad. So what did you guys do that just gave them so many problems in that second game?
Well, coming in after that game when we played them up there at their home, we came in and watched film and we told ourselves like we could beat these guys if everybody's on the same page. We communicate. We switched up a little things, but not too much. And just knowing that we was back home, and, we was on the big stage. That was our first game. That was our first win on the big stage. Playing on Monday night. And I think a lot of guys was fired up for that. And like we mentioned earlier in the show, we got pressure on Tom Brady up the middle and on the end. I think, like I said, that's one of the things that the Eagles will have to do up front.
Right. You mentioned the two guys that kind of make that engine go for New England is Brady and Gronk. And today they said it's kind of just a matter of when Gronk is cleared of concussion protocol, not if he's going to end up being cleared. And with just how much of that's another story, but with how much of an emphasis, how much more, I guess, of an emphasis do you put on defending Gronk compared to like other teams' tight ends? Is it a big difference in the week leading up to the game?
It is a big difference. Gronk, he's one of the best tight ends out there, one of the bigger body guys, and just him and Tom Brady always find a way to be on the same page, and they always connect together. So I think that's what makes it hard playing against those two guys. They know where to be at the right time. Tom Brady knows if nobody else is open, he can always find Gronk, and I think that's what helps him out a lot.
Yeah, I have a follow-up question to that. How do you think they can tell Gronk is concussed? Is he start speaking English or not, or just like instead of the Neanderthal language, or what?
Repeat it one more time. I had a hard time hearing it on your end.
Oh, I think he was saying because Gronk almost seems like he's not even from this planet, and he seems like he's just that big guy, just kind of a space head, just kind of grumbles and mumbles around. He just kind of seems like he's not even from this planet. So he's like, how do you even tell like a guy like that's even concussed? He doesn't even look like he's from this planet.
Right. Gronk is a basketball player playing football. Like I said earlier, he got a bigger body, and he's a very physical guy. And, one thing I can say about him, watching him play, he like to have fun when he's out there.
No doubt. Well, one guy that doesn't ever like to have fun, it seems like, is Bill Belichick. That guy is as much of a robot as anyone. But the thing about Belichick is he's already great at preparing and game planning when just given like a normal week, like you would like an NFL week, like a week 9 to 10 game. So like, how does an extra week to prepare, do you think that maybe actually benefits the Eagles more, since this is kind of new territory for them versus the Patriots, who, this is just another walk in the park for them. So do you think this extra week maybe actually benefits the Eagles more than it does the Patriots?
I do. Just knowing, like I mentioned, like Tom Brady, you trying to get Tom Brady, another week to prepare for him. Like, who wouldn't take that? And the Patriots, they gonna run what they gonna run, and it's gonna be up to the Eagles to stop it. I don't think they're gonna change much. The Patriots gonna do what the Patriots do, but I think them having this extra week does benefit the Eagles because it gives them an extra week to watch film and just come up with a great game plan.
Yeah. You sort of feel like maybe this game, I'm going to ask for your final prediction here in a little while, but do you think this game would be, how much better of a game, I guess, should I say, would this be if Carson Wentz was playing versus Nick Foles? Foles has a little bit of experience, but that offense was clicking. Carson Wentz was an MVP candidate, and now he's just gone. And Foles really didn't do much until that last game against the Vikings, which was impressive because that Vikings defense is nothing to joke with. But just how do you think that's, at the end of the day, do you think that might cost the Eagles the game?
That's a good question. As Super Bowl week is coming up, and a lot of people saying, like I've been hearing it a lot, maybe if Carson Wentz was playing but since he's not playing, then I'm always patient. But one thing I can say is, Foles, he got him to the Super Bowl. Carson Wentz, of course, started the season off, but Foles helped him win 2 games leading up to the Super Bowl. So I think there's a good chance that he they offense, but at the same time, Carson Wentz, he's familiar with those guys. He played, however many games he played before he went out. So I think it'll be hard, but I think it's the Super Bowl, so I think those guys will find a way to be on the right page and get the job done.
So that could be a bold prediction. So what is your final prediction? Who do you have winning? What do you think the score is going to be?
You can't really bet against Tom Brady and pick against Tom Brady. Just seeing what he did in the last Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Just seeing what he did last week. But me personally, I wish that was us, and I wish that was the Miami Dolphins in the Super Bowl. So I can't really make a pick. But I think the Eagles is a hungry team. They know they're the underdog. So I think they're gonna come out with a chip on their shoulder, and they're gonna find a way to pull it off.
DJ, what do you got as a final prediction here? I mean, we got a pretty bold prediction there. I don't know if you can back that up.
It's still so early in the week for me. I've been trying to think about this, but we're big gambling guys. So considering that, I still need time to look into this game. I don't know why the line on this game keeps dropping. So I am not ready for a prediction.
Not ready.
I'll probably put it out there on Twitter at some point later this week. But I'm not ready to commit.
That's a good question. Good answer.
Yeah, that's a good answer, Vincent said. I agree. Well, I am ready. I put a little thought into this one. I am going to go New England 31, Philly 24, and I actually think Philly maybe scores late to make it look closer than it was. I agree with Vincent that the Eagles are going to be pumped. They're playing with nothing to lose. I mean, they're playing with a backup quarterback at this point. Some people think it's a miracle they even got this far, and the fact that they're here, they're going to play tough. But man, Tom Brady and Belichick, they've been here 8 times now. Like I said, it's basically like a family reunion. It's like a high school reunion every year. They just get together and play in this game. So, Vincent, I'm with you. Let's get the Dolphins there. I'm a Dolphins fan. I'd like to see the Patriots take a back seat. So I'm hoping that your prediction actually comes right for next year. Oh. Let's get him back here. Do we have you, Vincent?
Yes, I'm sorry. I keep cutting out.
Oh, no worries. We got you back. So we just finished up our predictions. Do you have a little time for a couple other questions we have for you?
Yes.
Awesome. I was curious as to what the offseason looks like for Vincent Taylor, and kind of not more importantly, but where I was going with this one was, how is transitioning from nightlife in Stillwater to the nightlife in South Beach?
Oh, man, it's way different. You're going from a college atmosphere, a college town to Miami, South Beach. Just being in Miami is a different lifestyle. You got to know when to go out, where to go out, and just try to keep your head on straight. There's a lot of things that can distract you down here, but I think me living out here, I think I'm doing the right thing right now, not getting into trouble, not going out so much. So it's a big difference going from a college town to Miami.
Nice.
Well, I don't know if you can hear me, but I'll ask a question. If not, Ben can translate. But I read on Wikipedia that you're from New Orleans. I'm going there for a bachelor party in April. Like, where do I need to go, and what do I have to do? Give me some R-rated shit.
Without a doubt, you got to go to Cafe de Monde. You got to get you some beignets, and you got to try some gumbo. You can go anywhere and get gumbo in New Orleans. And I would probably say, make sure you get a po' boy for sure.
Yes, you have to do that. I don't pronounce it right. I was just in New Orleans within the last year, and muffalata, is that a thing?
Muffalata?
Yeah, it's like a meat sandwich.
Muffalata. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I could pound those. Who can eat more of those, you or Indomitian Sue?
I would probably say me, just knowing that I'm from New Orleans and I'm used to that food,
I want to get into that competition because, man, those things were good.
So,
Yes, sir.
speaking of Indomitian Sue, I'm a huge Nebraska Cornhusker fan. My family's from Lincoln. What's it like playing with him? And have you ever thought that he might just kill somebody on the field? Like, I remember, I just had flashbacks to him ragdolling Colt McCoy.
Oh man, Sue is a whole different animal. You know, when he on that field, you know, I'm glad I just had just the honor to play next to him and just learn from him. You know, he's one of the greats in the game, and I think his film and his resume speaks for itself.
Yeah, the guy's definitely a monster. It's got to be a nice thing as well. I mean, coming to Miami, knowing that there was a spot next to him that was kind of up for grabs, and being drafted in that situation and being able to learn, is that something that you kind of went into the situation kind of like set out to do, like watching Sue and just trying to take up as much as possible, or how does that kind of play out in your head when you're selected by the Dolphins and you know that Ndamukong Suh's on that same line?
Oh, well, before, you know, the Dolphins, I thank them for drafting me, but before they even drafted me, you know, Sue was always a guy that I looked up to and tried to learn from, you know, just when he was at Nebraska, of course. But when I got that call, you know, when I found out, the first thing that came to my mind was, he was one of the first things that came to my mind. Just knowing, like I said, him being a player that he is, and me willing to just go in as a rookie and learn from him, like, you can't beat that.
Right. Speaking of the NFL draft, that's kind of one of the main things obviously coming up after the Super Bowl here, free agency, then we have the draft. You played in the same conference in college as one of the more popular names in this year's draft in Baker Mayfield. How do you feel that he'll do in the NFL now that you've been in the league for a year? You've seen like kind of the level of quarterback play that's needed to succeed at that level. How do you feel his game translates?
Well, you know, Baker, he's a very competitive guy, and I think that would help him out a lot. You know, playing at this level, it is different, but if you love the game, you know what you're capable of doing. And I think, like I said, him with the mindset that he has, I think whatever team he goes to, I think he'll fit right in because he's a guy who likes to compete and he likes to be on the winning side. So I think he'll give any organization his own.
Right. How about your boy Mason Rudolph?
Oh, Mason, my guy, you know, I talked to Mason like last week, and I just asked him when he was training there. You know, he didn't get a chance to play in the Reese's Bowl, but whatever organization get Mason there, getting it, what they see, you know, a guy who's humble, who's willing to work, and I don't have nothing bad to say about him.
The nice thing, too, about the position that he's in is the fact that there's a lot of quarterbacks, there's a lot of teams, I should say, up in the front of the draft that are looking for a quarterback, and he's really not really mentioned around those top 3-4 guys right now. So he might actually end up being able to go into a situation where he's not forced into playing. He might be able to sit behind a quality veteran and learn for a year or two. Do you sort of feel like that might be the way to go for quarterbacks, or are you the kind of guy that you just want to draft your guy, you want to throw him to the fire and see what you have?
Well, you know, every guy in the draft who's coming into the draft, they want to come in and play right away. But, you know, I think it's good that, you know, everybody who will come in, I would say take the back seat, try to compete to be the starter. But as much as you can learn, you know, it would only benefit you.
DJ had mentioned the whole New Orleans connection earlier, and you have a pretty wild story that regards to Hurricane Katrina, and for the people that haven't heard that story yet, make sure you Google and YouTube it. It's pretty motivational. It's a great story. But do you think that experience that you went through prepared you for any challenge that you may even face on the football field? I mean, football as a game at that point seems fairly easy after going through what you went through at such a young age.
But yes, sir, without a doubt, you know, like I always tell people, New Orleans and Katrina made me who I am today, you know. Just knowing that I was a little boy at the time and going through all that, you know, it taught me a lot, you know, and taught me how to deal with adversity and just how to have faith in a man upstairs and just how to fight through things.
Have you, do you get back to that area much often anymore, or how's your relationship with New Orleans? Because I believe after you guys left New Orleans, you went to San Antonio?
Correct, and that's good. As you asked that question, I'll be leaving on the 7th of next month, so about 2 weeks to go back home. You know, my parents moved back home, so I'm excited to go back.
Nice. Nice. DJ, when do you go there? Maybe you'll run into him.
April, baby. Let's go.
Oh, April. Okay, you got a little bit of time then. Nice. Well, let's do a couple of rapid fire questions. We had some listeners on some different social media platforms get into us. So, are you ready for a few rapid fire questions to wrap it up here, Vincent?
I'm ready.
All right. First one. Most embarrassing moment you've had on a football field at any level?
I would probably say my rookie year coming into this year, I was on kickoff return, and we was receiving the ball on one side, and I started like running towards the kickoff team, but I don't think nobody caught it. And I was like, Vincent, what are you doing?
Nice. Number two, one piece of advice that you would give to the members of the Eagles defensive line?
Attack. I say attack. You know, attack. Try to get Tom Brady out the rhythm.
Right. Number three here, rookie hazing. Is it sucky or is it not as bad as it's made out to be?
I mean, it just depends. You know, we got some veteran guys in our locker room who did a good job, who took care of us. So I was pleased with those guys, and I don't have nothing bad to say about.
Nice. Number four, what is the absolute worst part about training camp?
I would probably say just waking up early in the morning. You know, when you wake up, me like I told one of the coaches, I never drunk coffee until starting into college, and that kind of still leads up to this point. You know, during training camp, I drank me some coffee, so I'll probably say waking up early.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't like waking up early the way it is, and you've got 300-pound guys running at you, so you've got a little worse than I do. The next one here, funniest guy in the locker room.
Oh, that's pretty funny. I would probably say, I'd say Andre Branch is a funny guy. Devon Jackson, he's pretty funny. And we got that's just guys on D-line who, you know, who's in my room, but I'm pretty sure we got a lot more funny guys.
Nice. I got another one here. Quarterback not named Tom Brady that you'd like to sack the most.
I would probably say, that's a good question. I would probably say Drew Brees. He just been a New Orleans native, and just if I had a chance to sack him, that'd be pretty good. Awesome too.
Nice.
I got one last question for you. Now that you're in Miami, would you go on Odell Beckham's party boat if he invited you next time?
Man, I'm pretty sure a lot of us would. I don't think I can pass that up. I think I would. You know, if I got an invite, I'm pretty sure in fact anybody that there give you the same answer I just did.
Yeah, just don't let it turn into the Minnesota Love Boat.
God, yes, sir.
That's funny. Do you think those guys were kind of treated unfairly after that game? It was wasn't that the Packers or the game right before the Packers game? So yeah, playoff game. They go on the boat and they drop some passes, and all of a sudden the media just correlates. Well, they were distracted because they went on Odell's boat. Do you think is there something to that, or was that kind of overblown?
Like you said, you mentioned media. I think like we as athletes, not just in the NFL, but any professional, we got to watch what we do when we're in public, because that's the media job, is to make a story, and I think I kind of got took it the wrong way.
Right. Nice. DJ, do you have any other rapid fire questions you want to ask?
No, that's all I got, man.
Nice. Well, to our audience, thank you very much for listening. As always, tweet any questions you have for us on Twitter at LoadedBox. Check out our website, loadedboxpodcast.wordpress.com. We want to say thank you once again to Vincent Taylor. Sorry for the technical difficulties here, but thanks for hanging with us here, Vincent, and all the listeners. Be sure you give them a follow on Twitter at ballout_96. You had to throw the underscore in there.
Followers to go up, yeah.
Nice. Do you have anything else you want to get off your chest, Vincent, before we let you go? Or we, like I said, we definitely loved having you on.
That's it.
Sounds good. So you got the Eagles, DJ's undecided, and I've got the Patriots.
Sounds good. Yes, sir.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you once again for coming on, As I said, be sure to check out Vincent on Twitter at ballout_96. And DJ, why don't you send us out?
Bye.